Hello, hello. Hello, can you hear me clearly? Yeah, I guess yes. So, yeah, thank you everyone for coming here to the conference room today. Seems like it's not very crowded, but I like it's more. So, anyway, like, thank you for coming to us, to our overview workshop. Also, like, learning about like Polkadot SDK. Um, okay, so first and foremost, so our workshop today is gonna be about mainly about like Polkadot and also like Polkadot SDK. So like anyone who's interested in like building their own blockchain from like a very like low level environment. So this will be a workshop for you. To introduce a little bit about myself, so I'm the developer relationship of OpenGuild, which is a community for Polkadot. I'm gonna introduce it later in the later slide. On the other hand, like, I'm a Polkadot Blockchain Academy Wave 5 graduate in Singapore, um, and I'm a Polkadot SDK contributor. On the other hand, also a software engineer. So yeah, would love to be here. It's be honor to standing here like to introduce about Polkadot. So about OpenGuild, so OpenGuild is a community Web3 group for like blockchain builder who interested about like Polkadot technology. And so you, as you know, like Polkadot is already it's launched in 2020, but it's mainly like focused on the European country. And only like in recent years, like when the Asia market like show its potential to like to work out there, so like Polkadot Foundation like decided to like establish something in Asia market. So like we and like target an Asia market, find more talented builder to onboard on this ecosystem and build like a better technology every day. So in OpenGuild, like we host a lot of event, workshop. For example, like this workshop in the Malaysia Blockchain Week, and also like we like do research and development. Like we like develop a lot of open source libraries, open source tool to contribute back to the Polkadot ecosystem. So here's like some past activities of the OpenGuild lab. So like the contribute, so we like contribute to the Rust and Polkadot ecosystem at the same time. For example, like we develop a lot of courses for like for learner and also like for Web3 builder who in our community. Also like in Polkadot ecosystem can learn more about Rust and also like learn more about Polkadot. Yeah, so here's like some picture to showcase like our past activity across like a whole Southeast Asian countries. For example, like we have like Sub-Zero in Thailand. Also, like we just have a viewing party with Pachi Banquin like a few days ago in Malaysia, and we also like have a few like offline workshop in Vietnam as well. Also, like there's an activity that like our community is hosting right now, which is called Open Contribution Bounty, and the prize pool can go up to like 20,000 K. Oh, sorry, $20,000. So about this Open Contribution Bounty, so like we have different like 5 different tracks. For example, like the first track gonna be like substrate course, which like anyone like who want to develop a substrate and then they contribute back to the community through the documentation. Then they can write down the documentation for Substrate and then like submit it to us so you can claim the bounty. So the bounty for this track is up to like 4,500. You can find like all the information on our website at like openguild.wtf. And on the other hand, we also have ecosystem open source documentation. So let's say like if you're interested in Polkadot SDK and then you want to like help like writing a better documentation for Polkadot SDK itself, so that you can like apply for this track, and then like at the same time you become a Polkadot SDK contributor, but you also become maybe OpenGuild challenger. We also have technical blog that anyone like who interested in like writing something about blockchain or writing something about Polkadot, then like you can apply for this track. We also have like workshop technical activities. So usually normally in order of like workshop, we're gonna have after every like lecture like this, like we're gonna have like a technical activity that like show people how to like run a blockchain, how to like write a smart contract, something like that. And for the check file is like all the open source contribution. So like anyone who have any like have like some idea that they want to apply, and then they want to propose, so like they can contribute to the Polkadot ecosystem. So just apply for check file, propose your idea, and then like do it, then also like claim the bounty. Okay, so now we let's go to the main content of the workshop today. So before we were learning about Polkadot SDK, which is a tool to build a blockchain. We're gonna learn about Polkadot. So what is Polkadot? So Polkadot is launched in 2020, and it is the co-founder is David Wood, who is also like a co-founder of Ethereum technology. And I think like everyone here who in the Malaysia blockchain, we already know about Ethereum and definitely like know about Polkadot. So one of the analogy that I really like, which is called game console analogy. So let's say this is your basic Substrate client. So Substrate is a tool in Polkadot that is used to like build a blockchain, and you have two part like runtime and client, runtime and node. So client is so let's say you have a basic Substrate client, and this basic Substrate client is like a game console, right? And then you have like a row of caches, and these caches, for example, like Atala row up, Asta row up, Moonbeam row up, Polkadot row up. I think for anyone who researched about Polkadot before, you might know about the word called a Parachains, which is a blockchain that running in parallel. But like I think in recent months, when like we have a new innovation on Jam, joint accumulate machine, which is going to be introduced in the upcoming, maybe in the upcoming years, and it's going to be like the next generation of the blockchain, or we can say the blockchain 3.0. So we like rename the roll up, we rename the Parachains to roll up, like to make it follow the popular terminology in the Ethereum ecosystem. Okay, so we have the patches, we have the game console, and the Polkadot technology basically you have like all these kind of roll up patches, which is like plug and play on the game console itself. So like you have like a complete blockchain running without like having to care about like all kinds of things like consensus and all kind of things like consensus, block production kind of things, because like you have the roll up already and just like using the infrastructure of Polkadot. We have some key measures of Polkadot in recent months. For example, like we have like more than like 100 blockchain built using a Substrate technology. More than like 50 blockchain is a Parachain, or I can say a roll up chain running on Polkadot technology. And we also like have other than 50 blockchain just like running as a solo chain using Substrate technology. More than like 400,000 transactions per second every day. So you can see like from May to July, but up to now it's already like up to like 400,000. I think it's 400,000 K. Yeah, it's 400,000 K transaction. So it's going to be like 400 million transactions submitted every day across the whole network, which means like including the roll and also like the Polkadot itself. 100% relay chain uptime, and we never like see like any like downtime. And 10,000 K cross chain message. So one of the key attributes of Polkadot technology is interoperability, which is mean like the roll up in the same network can like cross chain messaging or the roll up, so that it can like transfer across the network without any like bridging method, because this is the native solution. So we have like more than 10K cross chain message every day. So the benefit of the Polkadot rollup is first is share security. So instead of having to build a whole validator network with like complex consensus mechanism for security, so rollup chain only needs a few nodes for block collections, and the rest will be handled by the relay chain. Cross-chain messaging. So Parachain can communicate with other Parachains in the same Polkadot network through messaging protocol. We mentioned this already, which is called like SCMP or cross-chain messaging protocol, and Substrate compatibility, which rich ecosystem of library. So you don't have to be, as I mentioned, like using a Substrate, you can be like a solo chain or a Parachain. And similar to like React, like we have one of the richest ecosystem in the whole blockchain blockchain space. So all Parachain in the Polkadot are Substrate based. So hence like you can use the code from all open source Parachain easily. Okay, so I mentioned about the shared security, right? But like, why is the native shared security important? So in one blog post of Vitalik Buterin about like don't overload Ethereum consensus, like he mentions about like a few techniques like to scaling the blockchain, but also like securing consensus layer of the blockchain. And we have like a few different solutions. For example, like respecting like agent layer. So like respected solution like agent layer that allow like native Ethereum staker to respect the native token and like LSD to like secure the active validation services built on top of the agent layer. On the other hand, we also like have a data availability layer that you try to do a modular blockchain architecture to offload like some part of the blockchain itself, for example, like data availability, execution, and also like settlement, and like out of the main change. But like one thing that we learned are like trying to scale the scalability and also like the security at the same time is really hard. For example, we can take the case of selections. So let's say in selection technology, or if anyone I don't know about selection, so selection is a modular data availability layer blockchain that allow you to like build a rollup and just like do selections at data availability layer. But like in selections case, like any rollup like who like connect with the selections have to like to apply different technique on their own way. For example, like building a live client and embedded on their blockchain to communicate with the main chain or communicate with other rollup. And in that way, that's not native, and then they have to build it themselves. But like in Polkadot itself, like the parent chain only have to build the execution part, which is mainly the runtime, and then they just like plug and play into the Polkadot protocol, and then now it just works. Yeah. So in the day zero design, the share security and scalability is in the core design Polkadot protocol. So in the relay chain, we have the concept of hybrid consensus mechanisms. I mean like which is called like base and red part. Just imagine this base is like for block production and red part is for like block finality. So this hybrid consensus like which is give like a very like secure block finalization, but also like optimistic block productions. And in that way, native security is a core feature of the Polkadot system in the day zero. It's like it's only have to focus on the scalability in a multi-chain network, and this makes it easier when you have like less concerns on the security side. Okay, so let's learn about Polkadot SDK. So the Polkadot SDK repository provides all the components needed to start building a blockchain in the Polkadot network. A multi-chain blockchain platform that enables different blockchains to interoperate and share information in a secure scalability way. So here, like you can see, you can find like the Polkadot SDK on GitHub, and just like go to GitHub, search for like Polkadot SDK. You're gonna find like Polkadot SDK is an open source project hosted on GitHub. And this is a monolith project, which means like everything related to Polkadot, everything related to like Polkadot SDK will be stored inside it GitHub repository. For example, like the Polkadot blockchain itself or the Kusama blockchain, like you have the runtime will be managed by other organization, and they just use like Polkadot SDK to like construct and build up the runtime. And one of the fun facts is like the Polkadot SDK right now, it has like the most contribution from the whole blockchain network, which means like it have like there's no other project that have like more contributors compared to Polkadot SDKs right now. So why do we need a Polkadot SDK? So let's say when you're trying to building a blockchain from scratch, it's quite slow. Or I can say it's very slow. It's like 6 years, not only months. But like building a blockchain, or I can say building a Parachains with Polkadot SDK, then it's extremely fast. And why it's fast? So we're gonna learn about it. So the few components of the Polkadot SDK is gonna include first Substrate, Frameless, SCM, Cumulus, a lot of terminology, but let's learn about it. So Substrate is the base blockchain framework used to power the Polkadot SDK. Is a full toolkit to create a sovereign blockchain, including but not limited to those who connect to Polkadot Parachains. So let's imagine like on the front end development side, you have something like React, and React is used for like building a front end. React act as a framework to be like used building a front end, and you don't have to care about the underlying complex stuff. For example, like rendering, like like visualizing in React case. For example, like in Substrate, but in Substrate, it's also applied like that. Building a blockchain is require a lot of knowledge related to like mathematics, cryptography, and also like how to build a peer-to-peer network. But like in Substrate itself, it's already abstract all those things away. You don't have to care about like how to make like node A and node B communicate with each other. When you use Substrate, you just like one click, two click, and you have like a full like blockchain node running. And you on the other hand, like this blockchain node running, when they communicate with each other, they don't have to care about the consensus layer as well. On the other hand, like we also like have Frame, which is the framework. Okay, you can imagine that it's like a set of library that you're gonna use this library apply it to Substrate. I'm gonna like deep dive into this later. We still have a whole like workshop section. And we have the Cumulus, which is used a set of library that you can use to build like to bring your solo chain or you bring your blockchain like onto the Polkadot network, become a part of Polkadot using the security feature and like scalability, all those things. ECM is like a protocol that you or like a standard message that you can use to communicate with other parachains in the same network. Okay, so what is Substrate? So in Substrate, let's include a few different parts. Sorry. For example, like first is about the networking layer. So I mentioned about like building a peer-to-peer network and like how to make like node A, node B communicate with each other. But on the other hand, you also have to make like node A, node B, node C communicate with each other. Just imagine like you have like node A in Vietnam, you have like node B in the US. How to communicate each other across the whole like the globe. So yeah, so Substrate have like a networking layer built on top of B2B. Like a library, a set of tool, written in Rust. On the other hand, the node in Substrate apply the technology called like WebAssembly, which is a platform agnostic language. So when you build a Substrate node, you want that like any machine can run a Substrate node, including a mobile phone, also like any type of computer, not excluding like macOS or like Windows. So you want it to like be compiled into like one kind of language that can be running on any kind of machines. So the way that Substrate use it is using like WebAssembly, which is a platform agnostic language because it doesn't depend on any kind of platform. Consensus layer, database layer, yeah. So it's also like abstract those things away. You don't have to care about like building the consensus. Substrate is agnostic, so like you can even build a root stack, a root work, or delegated root stack on your own. Yeah. So Substrate is the base blockchain framework. It's used to power Polkadot SDK. It's a full toolkit to create sovereign blockchain, including but not limited to those who connect to Polkadot as a Parachains. So a few components in the blockchain in Substrate framework. So you have like a peer-to-peer networking, which is definitely be on top of B2B. RPC, how like the developer can communicate with the Substrate node, consensus, telemetry service, how like to monitor the blockchain, the Substrate node, and once runtime, which will be like the central, the heart of the Substrate node itself. For example, like if you do a smart contract, or if you sending anything to the Substrate node, it's going to be compiled back to WAMS or WebAssembly. Storage layer. So building on Substrate as a runtime engineer, or as a Substrate engineer, we have like three different components you have to care about. First, going to be the node. The second one will be the runtime, and the third one will be frame palette. Why the frame palette one is have different color compared to the other part, because like the node and the runtime will be the core part of Substrate, and it is required if you want to build a Substrate. If you want to build a parachain using the Substrate technology, the node and the runtime. For the frame palette, you can do a frameless Substrate node, which means like you don't have to use frame. But like in the later slide, I'm gonna explain why you should use frame. So I also want to explain a bit about the node and the runtime. So the node will be responsible for handling like all kind of like networking service. For the runtime, it will be the place that you gonna like define a set of API that like when like user they when like builder they build the application and they want to communicate with the Substrate node. They want to define some specific set of logic. We're gonna like communicate with the runtime. So the runtime will be the place that will like store like the core logic of the Substrate node. Okay, so what is Frame? So if you do like front-end development, like you might know like React, like, it has like different set of library. And if you want to like, for example, if you want to build a model, you want to build a dashboard, you just play like npm install like a dashboard plug and play. If you have a dashboard on your front end, and it's also the same like in the Substrate case. And Substrates have a set of library called a Frame, and Frame is described as like a development environment provides module called palette and support library that you can use, modify, and extend to build the runtime logic to suit the needs of the blockchain. So for example, like in the Frame, we have like palette stacking, which is like you can like plug to your blockchain to apply, like to build the stacking mechanism for your blockchain. For example, here like a very basic Substrate node. When you install it on your machine, you like start hacking. So it will have some different palette to define some different type logic. For example, like Jessery. So if you want like, I think like this concept is common in blockchain. So if you want to like allow like your blockchain to have like one central ledger to store all the asset, so that like they could like the user in your blockchain can like receive something from that Jessery. So you're gonna use the Jessery. It's like you have contract. So if you want your blockchain to have the ability to like execute a contract. In this case, a smart contract written in the English language. You're gonna use like Pilot contract asset, which is like to like give your blockchain the ability something similar to like ERC20 smart contract, not like which is like currency on Ethereum, right? So like you want your trainers to have that ability similar to the Ethereum. You're gonna use like Pilot asset, or you want your user to have like the on-chain identity. That they can like define, verify the email, so that you also like can use like palette identity. Yeah, and on the runtime side, it's like some set of default palette that is required for any blockchain. For example, like over Rainper, which is like here's like round robin style block productions, a very basic block production mechanisms. You have a pseudo palette, a palette pseudo, which is like to provide a super user who can control the whole blockchain network. Or you have like collective. This collective palette is used widely in the Polkadot ecosystem. For example, like you want to like manage a membership of the on-chain identity we talked before. So you can use the palette collective and timestamp to provide like the whole logical timestamp for the whole blockchain network. Okay, so Frameless Substrate is possible. So Substrate already provide complete elements for building a blockchain from scratch. But like Substrate only has a set of tools building a blockchain system, like cryptography, hashing, networking, non-standard data structure. So like all these problems already be handled by Substrate. But like a Frameless Substrate code base is like a tremendous level piece, which means it's not reusable. Like if you don't use Frame and like one person's just like when they build a Substrate node, they define all sets of logic on their own style, or the Substrate node cannot reuse it because it's too complex. And many little like Lego pieces in Frameless Substrate that we have to rebuild from scratch. For example, like consensus, finality, asset management, governance. Go back to this slide, you can see like here, like if you use Frame, it's already have some types of like block production mechanism over, or like block finality gadgets with a printer, or you can like have the functionality of the Jessery. Yeah, you can have a functionality of a Jessery as well on your runtime using Frame. Okay, so about Frame-based runtime without Substrate is also possible. Frame provides a set of library for developers to magically turn their runtime into a complete blockchain runtime. And Frame like provide different set of functionality like governance, You want your blockchains have a central governance that everyone can follow it, and like it can like govern the whole network. You just like add like palette governance, something like that. Palette stacking, like you want like the user, they can stack the token on your blockchain, so that they can like receive a reward. On the other hand, you can secure the network. Then you just like use palette stacking, then consensus, block authoring, block finality, and runtime construction and configuration is provide like in Frame is provide the ability to like construct a runtime in an easier way. If you like dive deep into the Substrate without Frame, it will be a bit like a mess of code that like you don't know like how to manage in the right way. Then like with Frameless already abstract all these things away. You just like construct runtime bracket and then like define set of palette, then you have that functionality. Storage and understand data structure. With Frame, like, it's also like provide more than structure, like vector. Like vector has map, like B-tree map, but in the runtime context, which means like if you like view like you use like normal vector in without Frame, which is like a non-standard, which is a standard library. Then like you cannot use it on like a very low level computer system. But like if you use Frame, the storage will be this storage and also like this no standard structure will be designed for a no standard environment, which means like it doesn't require like iOS like OS API or like I/O of your machine. Frame makes your runtime code reusable and well structured. Okay, so here's a tree without Frame and with Frame, quite obvious. Okay, so let's play some Lego. So this is let's imagine this is your custom blockchain that you want to build, and this is what you have: the substrate, the frame, and the framework, substrate framework, and the frame. And in the beginning, you have nothing in it yet. So let's say if you want to build the EVM compatible blockchain, you have your substrate, like, and this is the one that you want to build. You just like have like different set of level like palette EVM, palette Ethereum, palette dynamic feed. They just like combine all these things together, configure for your substrate runtime. Then you have like the EVM compatible blockchain. And also, like for example, you have a group stack blockchain, and you just like combine some things like palette stacking, palette section, palette offenses, palette authorship. We don't have to care about like what this kind of palette is gonna do, but just imagine it's like these are like one module, like it's a library. You just like install and add it into your substrate node, and you use substrate runtime. Then you have like a complete substrate runtime. This can like provide the functionality similar to a group stack blockchain. Okay, so let's recap a bit. So what is Substrate? So Substrate is a core component of Polkadot SDK, but not only. So Substrate is powerful as a blockchain builder tool that abstracts away the complexity of subcomponent in the blockchain system. Substrate is written completely in Rust. Substrate is a blockchain agnostic framework that you can use Substrate to build solo change. For example, we have a common case like a lab zero or big network, which is not a Parachains, but they still use Substrate under the hood. And Polkadot engineers can like use Substrate to build a Parachain or a relay change. Even a relay change, which is like a core, a heart of the whole Polkadot protocol, still built on top of Substrate and Frame. Another part of our Polkadot SDK component in our stack is Cumulus. So Cumulus transforms the frame-based runtime into the Polkadot compatible Parachain runtime, and Substrate-based node into a Polkadot Parachain compatible node. So let's say I have a solo chain like a Lab Zero or big network, and one day like they decide to like become a Parachain because they want to use a shared security. They think that they need a shared security of Polkadot. So what can they do? They just like add the Cumulus into the node and into the runtime. So Cumulus is have like two parts as well, similar to the Substrate, which is like Cumulus node libraries and also the Cumulus runtime library. So the node library is used for the Parachain node, and the runtime library is used for the runtime. Just imagine like Cumulus also like a set of different palette that like similar to like the palette that we mentioned before. They just like look into your Substrate, become a Parachain. Okay, so let's say like we have a Substrate-based blockchain, like do combine with Kubernetes, then you can have a Parachains. Very simple. Okay, so I also have a video clip here that guide you like how to create blockchain under 5 minutes. Okay, so right here we're going to use a tool called PopCUI, which is a developer tool built for Polkadot ecosystem. Then you can use it to build a new parachain easily. So let's say that you go to PopCUI. This is just like an installation step. So you install the PopCUI, and then you have your PopCUI ready on your machines. And then you have like it's a CLI tool, so you have like a set of commands that you can use to build. Yeah, so let's say right here you try to install some like required packages for your for the PopCUI tool, and then you run like pop new Parachains, which is like to create a new Parachain using like only in one command, and then like you can choose like a different template. For example, a template powered by OpenGuild, or also a template powered by Parachains. Then when you run a command, then you can like select a specific release for your Parachain, and then you run a command again. Then you have like a whole blockchain ready. Then when you build, we have to build a Parachain so that we can run a Parachain later with the command for like pop Parachain. And then after running a pop Parachain, you have your blockchain ready, and then you can visit it on your web as well. So right here is the interface. Then you can see it's sort of like a recent block, which is like a block like that your blockchain is trying to produce. Yeah, so that is the demo of how to create a new Parachain using PopCUI, and like that's Parachain definitely can connect to the Polkadot protocol. And yeah, and I think like that's pretty much all the workshop, and thank you for listening. So if you have any questions related to the workshop, related to Polkadot SDK, like feel free to ask.